chose the top part of the condo. You know, it's your decision. You can go to the bottom or to the top. You chose second floor. Congratulations. Do me a favor. You know what? Just stay there. Be calm. I know you're patient. I did give you a little bit of wet food, which I shouldn't have done because I only feed you wet food once a day and I feed you dry food. But I figured, oh, what the heck? You've worked hard enough for it. You deserve it. And I gave it to you, kitty. Even though I'm being cynical. Okay, I'll give you your paw back. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. All right. I got the light in your eye. You have a good day. All right. Monday, November 10th, 2025. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. We'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. Please subscribe. Hit the notifying bell. Wait a moment. And if you'd like to support my channel, feel free. You should be able to do it by, you have to kind of type, but just put this PayPal in. It'll go to my black and white photo. It'll say something about ADWC. And I try not to make this real preachy, but I just found out Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, he actually died 5 months ago. And I saw this thing with Kirk Cameron, it was 5 months ago when it was posted, where he was paying tribute to that. And then I watched one of the shows with Kirk and Phil eating, I believe, catfish. It looked like they made catfish somewhere in Louisiana. One thing about Kirk, I just want to say real quick, I made a kind of a derogatory joke that I thought could have been funny, and it was compulsive. I'm sorry, I'm a little nutty. I sincerely apologize. I would trust Kirk with any of my family members, old or young. He seems like a good guy. I've never met him personally, but I know that he's part of Growing Pains, and I'm gonna look that up later. It's always go from Facts of Life to Growing Pains. Facts of Life is Michael J. Fox, but Kirk is Growing Pains. And I saw that show today, and I felt kind of bad about something derogatory. I'm a little compulsive. I think I tried to erase it if it aired. I apologize sincerely. I did not mean the joke or the thing that I said, because you got to be serious when you're dealing with Christian men, godly men, leaders of the church. And I just appreciate all his hard work and his faithfulness to God. And God bless Phil Robertson, for he has gone over and joined a better, blissful existence in paradise. Okay. So we got that out of the way. I'm not trying to be snide. I am a believer. I don't seem like it sometimes. For example, I talk about Jane Campion. Well, when I was talking about Jane Campion, and I do like her movies, but I wanted to say something about Sweetie. I don't recommend that in Sunday school. And I just don't want to get into all the details. I don't recommend it. If you've got Pure Flix, don't watch it. Okay? But listen, I wanted to say one thing about artists. And when I do that, I look up the closest, or the strong apostle. Okay, and you're gonna be surprised when I say it. She was an apostle. And the closest disciple, which is Mary Magdalene. And the church at that time, okay, the leaders probably looked down on her. It did say in Luke, I believe 8:2, that Jesus cast out 7 devils from her. So even, the Bible itself mentioned basically that she was a follower of Christ and that she was healed by Jesus, and she was there at the foot of the cross, and she was the first to see Christ and bring the information back when he rose again on the third day from the tomb. So she was the first one there. So she was a dedicated follower, and they'd say the closest. Okay, and that's what I wanted to say about artists, is that they are shunned. They are, we're talking about everybody from Scorsese to probably Jane Campion. And I guess God put in my heart to like these people. And I got to the point where I went through a stage when I got baptized at the age of 40. I don't know if it's the Anabaptists or the Baptists that believe it, but I do believe you can get baptized at a young age or at an old age. I'm kind of for both, but I kind of feel that when you're older, you might want to reconsider dedication. One thing that I did when I started before my baptism at MacArthur in Irving is I got rid of a lot of things. So I didn't want to go up there in front of the church and know that there were certain things on my bookshelf that my grandma didn't like. Like, for example, Last Temptation of Christ. It was a book I had by the Russian artist given to me by a playwright in town, and it was a graduation present, and I know the Catholic kind of maybe teach by it or something like that, or they're not really against it. But I kept that book with me for many, many years. But I ripped out the first page, which was dedicated to me by this playwright, and I decided to throw it away. And so I threw it in the dumpster, and I threw away probably, I think, almost every Scorsese film, even Taxi Driver. Sorry about that, Scorsese. So that when I walked before the church, I didn't have anything on the shelf that I completely felt bad about. I even threw away Aviator. I don't think I threw it away. I didn't do a movie burning. I brought it all to half-price books. Later on, I'd go back and rebuy everything. I don't know why. I was walking around Walmart too much. I don't ever really watch them. I do feel kind of torn. But I feel like sometimes I talk about Flywheel and things like that, that the craft itself can be a learning lesson in, and it can be a tool. I'm talking about this kind of craft. If you have the best camera in the world or a phone, it can be a tool in ministry. And I think Scorsese has even written about this stuff because he was originally going to be a priest. So I don't condemn him either. I guess that's what I wanted. Maybe I went back and bought Taxi Driver. So it's not a movie you want to watch in Sunday school. But listen, the Bible can be violent. I'm not recommending it to anybody that's a big believer, and I know that he was protested against. One thing about the playwright friend that gave me that book was that his mom took him to go see it, and they had to walk past a lot of the protesters that were basically telling them that they were going to go to HE double hockey sticks, right? That's not going to help, you know. I think humanity, being what Scorsese says is human, right? He uses the word human. He means human. Is going to be there, and Robert De Niro's stuff is incredibly human because he's done some incredibly human portrayals of people, you know. I think theater and also film and even vlogging maybe can show humanity, and I'm not going to condemn it, but I know that there's a tug between the good and evil aspect of it, you know. I know that there's something to be said. I'm at about 7 minutes. I want to go ahead and wrap this up. I don't want to get too preachy. Ultimately, I think what I'm doing is, showing my work to a certain degree. I'm doing the best I can under situations. I have struggled in my past with being normal, a normal way of thought. But to me, a movie sometimes, and there's good and bad, it can be something that takes me away from all the worries and stuff. And I think Jane Campion has been able to do that, even though I know that she would probably be ridiculed. So I wanted to say that about that I know that there's good and bad in filmmaking. I don't think her craft is bad. But if you've brought to Sunday school, they would turn it off and say, get out of here. No, they'd be mad. So after I was baptized and I started joining Sunday school and stuff like that, I didn't talk about things like that at all. And I think I went back and started slowly doing that on YouTube, and I think it led to a divorce, and I lost, I guess you could say, the right. I hate to use that word, but I lost at least the ability or a passageway to see my kids, because we were all from the church. I don't want to get into all denominations and stuff like that, but I think there's a wilderness side of a person, and I think a lot of Christians do cover it up, and it embeds in them. But once you expose it, you can start sculpting. I think maybe God touched me today for some odd reason. It could be the weather, or it could be something that I saw on YouTube, which is a TBN channel with Kirk, and me feeling kind of shameful and then giving it over to the Lord and realizing that, He drew the line for a lot of people, you know. And I don't want to get into a whole long spiel on things, but it's a long process. You know, forgiveness is the hardest for people. You know, forgiveness is a thing that it's very, very difficult. But ultimately, it's probably, I think, maybe God, or Jesus Christ, I think it's probably his most valuable lesson. All right, remember, all I want for Christmas is zoo, and they do have a baby elephant. And there are lions there, but don't worry, if you're a Christian, you're not gonna be thrown to them or anything like that. But if you ever watch Goodfellas, okay, I don't want to get into it. Something about the lions that makes people tell the truth. Now, the little story about the lions is that my son and I, we did get to go to the zoo, and the lions were there. And this was a time of separation, but like my wife had allowed me to go and see the kids at the zoo, and we were separated at that time. So she trusted me with David, and I took the stroller, and we got there just in time because I had to get back before, you know, my now ex-wife would have, you know, a conniption. I was able to go right by the lions and say, "Hey, look, David, there's the lions." And then we went back to meet up with Angel, and I dropped the kids off and surrendered. You know, I mean, I could have took off with David and never see me again. We could be in New Mexico living in a hut, but we're not. So I don't know if I'll get back to the kids or not. I think if I put my trust in God, a man always gets to his destination. I would like to see them again, but we'll have to see where God leads me, and we'll have to pray. And there's a lot of battles that I have to overcome, you know. But when it comes to sickness, the sickness will not end unto death, but unto the glory of God. For the Son will be glorified through it. As in, the Son of God will be glorified through it. So there is sickness, but it will not end in death, but unto the glory of God. So that the Son of God will be glorified through it. And that's in John.
How much?
Pizza Hut on Perry, the one that had the swinging door. 5:58 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.8 mile for that pickup.
Pizza.
This is a beautiful, beautiful campus. I've seen a lot of campuses. SMU is very pretty too. I probably would hand it over maybe to TCU. I like their bell chime stuff too. You can sometimes hear it. A bell goes off right there. But I don't know, maybe it's the trees, where SMU is a little more kind of city-based. It's right there by the Angelica Theater, if you know where Mockingbird Station is. On the other side of that, a block away, is SMU. And it's just like right there in a real busy area of Dallas. This is a really good area, and it's just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful campus. I don't know if they've done one movie, mainstream movie here, you know, like they have at Harvard and things like that. They may have. If you know, leave a comment. There might be some filming locations here. I don't know. I do know this though. When I was really into auditioning and I was really trying to break out as an actor, they had a vampire student film, you know, that they were doing, and I was kind of gung-ho and, you know, wanting to play a vampire. It's like during, not too long after Interview with the Vampire and things. I think I was already out of college, or I was taking a break from it, and I auditioned for it. I think I went in and they did like interview auditions. They have a film department here that's pretty decent, and the theater department's not too bad. It's not as good as Texas Wesleyan though. Whenever I was younger, and we're talking about 1993 Texas Wesleyan was the hottest theater school in Texas. It was talked about everywhere, and it was hot stuff. They didn't joke around at all. I saw Sweeney Todd there, was blown away. Almost every production I've seen there, I was impressed. We did Streetcar, believe it or not. Yeah, I played Stanley. I got an award for it. But I was thinking they were going to cast me as Mitch, because I wasn't real muscular. I was probably 170, and all of a sudden they're like, "Did you hear? They're going to want you as Stanley Kowalski." I'm like, "What?" Right then, the director came up behind me, grabbed my shoulders, and whispered, "I'm going to work your ass off." From that point on, I had to do nothing but work out. It was like I turned into a football player. It was crazy. And they seemed to like it. I thought maybe I overdid it a little bit, but because I went back and watched Brando, Stanley Kowalski, and I realized, there was a lot of control to Stanley that I don't think I had. He was always yelling and screaming. He wasn't always yelling and screaming. Alec Baldwin would play him later on. Would be, he kind of glorify him on Broadway a little bit, but not like Brando though. I don't think anyone's touched it like Brando. It's a Brando-esque kind of gritty, beautiful in a way, masculine. It's almost like Williams was just writing about almost the average Marine that came home, trying to control his family, and in Louisiana, in New Orleans. I got off on talking about theater. Yeah, I don't know. But they were doing Night of the Iguana, or they had doing scenes from it or something. They do some stuff at TCU. I think recently Wesleyan did Glass Menagerie. I didn't get to see it. They recently advertised it. There's the bells I was talking about. I need to fix this door right here. Let's see. I'm impressed. Pizza Hut, 6:18, 4 minutes, 1.5, delivery. Good afternoon, Mellow Mushroom. 6:28 arrival, 7 minutes, 2.4 miles for the pickup. They got their light back. All right, I got a postal box. I didn't know that. There's Mellow Mushroom, guys. Holiday hours. No Thanksgiving, no Christmas Eve, no Christmas Day. Short on New Year's a little bit. Not too bad on New Year's. All right, Mellow Mushroom, 6:49, 17, 6.4. We'll be there. All right, they're going to do Rudolph up to Christmas Eve almost, and Wizard of Oz is coming in January. It'll be done by February 15th, right during Valentine's Day.
Swept the ground and hi, he got us. I suppose he really has gone, Dumbledore.
Looks like Chinatown, boys. Not one of the most important places. Absolutely. Without water, forget about it. Oops. All right, North Side Little Caesar, 6:56, 1 minute, 0.2 on our way. Yeah, you're doing a little film. You might get a permission. You make that like some kind of government facility. The Water District. What's that? The regional water district. That's where they do water treatment. They watch over the water. People don't pee in it and stuff like that. If they do pee in it, it turns purple, so don't drink it. Little Caesar, 7042, 1.3. On our way. Looks like they accidentally gave him some wings, but it was in the. It's interesting. All right, what happened to my Potter? Oh well, it cuts off like that in the reading. Oh, there's Jubilee. They're doing voices of Donny Hathaway. Good little theater right there. They got really good chips. I usually get like a Diet Coke with chips and lime. But I gave up sodas. Mikachina on the way, 726, arrival 9, 2.3 minutes, or miles, sorry, change it to miles, 2.3 miles. Circle Theater is actually a really good theater. I worked with them as an actor on North Pole Nightmare, where I played a Monty. I'm a Monty like my daddy. We both look good. I'm a Monty like my daddy. We both look good in red. Circle Theater, right? Let's see what they're doing. Mess that one up. I don't know if I ever messed up that bad for the kids. It was a kid's show. King James is one of the things. Something that said Joplin on it. Looked like a Janis Joplin. They did do Janis Joplin. When I was doing stuff in Bleecker Street with the Actor Studio, they had a one-woman show out there. She played Janis Joplin. That might be the same show. It was called Janis Joplin. I thought I saw Joplin on there. Anyway, I didn't get. I have to look on their website. That's cool what they're doing right here. Oh, we got this tower. Where is it? Okay, it's probably somewhere. Oh, there it is. I'm a Monty like my daddy, we both look good in red. I'm a Monty like my daddy, we both look good in red. Kids would just all be throwing popcorn. It's like a Christmas story, getting hit all those popcorn. God, wait. All you're thinking about is that check. I got paid for it. It was the first performance in my life as an actor where I actually got a paycheck. But I got yelled at too, because I changed some of the lines one time. They don't like that. The playwright didn't. I changed the line from broccoli to popcorn, so what? Look, that man has popcorn in his teeth. It's supposed to be, look, that man has broccoli in his teeth. She wanted to be broccoli. One night, the guy had popcorn in his teeth. So I got method. She circled around me with the stage manager, interrogated me. I'll make sure you never work in this town again. I think they were probably joking. But it was a real show. It was a Christmas show that Connie Whitlamber did every single year, every Christmas. The North Pole Nightmare. Look it up. It's archived. Circle Theater. Many different shows. So the kids would show up with bags of popcorn, throwing them at the actors the entire time. They had a guy on there that had like a cape. It was like the villain. He had the little, the whisk, you know, the little, you know, the mustache. And it was like one of those black and white, you know, kind of looked like Zorro a little bit sometimes. Without the, no, I think he had like a bandit mask on. I don't remember what it was about. These guys in the North Pole, and it's a nightmare, and the Mountie, and there's snow everywhere, and trying to rescue some lady from this guy with a cape, basically. And one scene where he has binoculars. Look, the guy has broccoli in his teeth. Audience like, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. Then, you know, one night I was brave, just like Thesbis in the Greek theater, which she taught history. She taught theater history. Thesbis did change the lines, and she was a big fan of Thesbis too. She also would later cast me as Menechme, or well, in Menechme, she'd cast me as Paniculus the Sponge, where I only talked about me. Imagine that. And anyway, so one night I got the binoculars, and I was in my little Mountie red suit, and I looked, you know, through there, all looking around. Look, that guy has popcorn in his teeth. Hold on, actors are laughing. The guy named Toby was in it. He had a friend named Luke, had crazy hair. They were like Eraserhead fans. They liked David Lynch. He played one of the elves. He was very funny. He was very like spastic. He played piano. He's kind of like a Dudley Moore type. He was very quick, very funny. We messed up on a scene, so we did the scene backwards to, you know, to replay the scene. So and then we did the scene again. She didn't like that either. She got mad. You messed up on the scene, just go straight ahead. She was big about timing and stuff. She was kind of a tyrant director. I think she was probably joking, but I couldn't tell for sure. She was a big Kubrick fan. She liked her favorite movie, I know this for example, or I know this for a fact, is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Bomb, which is a very good movie. It did not make my top 11. I don't think Kubrick made my top 11. Can you imagine that? Isn't that weird? Yeah, but Kubrick did make my top 10 war film, which is number 1, Full Metal Jacket. It made my top war film of all time. That one, if you're about to go to boot camp, don't watch it.
Pottermore Publishing and Audible Studios present Harry Potter, the full cast audio editions.
Escape part, fire engine. I always wondered if it was, look, that man has a broccoli in his teeth. I think the line was, look, that man has broccoli in his teeth. I guess that is funny. I don't know. I guess because they gave out popcorn, the guy probably really had popcorn in his teeth. So that's why it wasn't funny. Ooh, look, that guy has popcorn in his teeth. I really don't see the difference, but there must have been a statement she was trying to make about broccoli. Maybe the Green Party. There was also a scene where I set the character aside. I jumped out of the character, and for a moment in the play, I started being Ross Perot and pulling out all these stats. Because Ross Perot was running for office at that time. Oh, he was running for the presidency, the third party. That's why my party's a fourth party, not a third party. Pretty much. But, well, it's faith, hope, love, and charity. But with Ross Perot, he was talking about like future Facebook stuff. He really was. He had this idea that we're all going to be connected on basically Facebook. but he didn't call it Facebook. He called it basically some kind of social media site that you check in, and everybody got information, you know, and kept together as a community and could make comments about one another. Kind of like Facebook does, only if you're mad, it can really go against you quickly. They should have a thing on Facebook, and I just would, if I could talk to Mark just for a moment. I know Mark is busy with jogging. But they should have a safeguard on Facebook where you push a button, okay, that safeguards you from saying stupid stuff about other people. I don't know if AI could figure it out, but it would protect you. So if, let's say if you said, so-and-so treats the poor like trash, it would like block it or keep it private, like a private comment thing, and you could have that. Well, what it would be, it would protect people from slander. So Facebook would recognize something that would possibly slander, and it would basically block it from the public. I think it should be something important. All right. So here's my idea to help out Facebook. So not everybody has to participate on it, like meaning on your particular page, we can call it a page or a wall. You know, they call it a wall that's on your Facebook. You can have a thing that says anti-slander guard, okay? So let's say you say something about someone like, oh, Patsy's an idiot, right? Okay, so immediately what it does is it recognizes that Patsy's an idiot is possible slander, right? Even though it's more like an insult, but it could fall under the anti-slander thing. So it immediately blocks it from the public to see. And it immediately only allows you to see it, and you have to go through a review on it. So it'll say, we've detected possible slander. Review these items before final publication or dismiss them. And it would hold it. This would be like a post. Now, if the guy's writing like a novel or something, it could recognize that too, because people post their novels and stuff on Facebook. At least I do. So that's a little bit different. People do sometimes get in trouble for novels for slander, but it's rare because usually they just change the names and stuff. Like Stephen King, he probably never really got sued for slander because he changes the names, and you know, like Dexter's not even Dexter, it's Derry. You know, he changes the name of the town, and no one has the same name, and he releases a thing like this is fictitious. This is a fictitious thing, you know. But anyway, I think it'd be cool. And so you just push a little button. You don't have to push it. You know, if you want to slander everybody all the time, that's fine, you could. Or you push this little button and it's anti-slander. So let's say, like you have a member of a church member. Like let's say you go to a church. And let's say that person, you happen to go to church with them, or they're like your Sunday school teacher, and you say something about them that might be kind of, you know, bad. Or maybe insulting. Or may even read off as slander or something. It would immediately guard it, put it in private, and have you think about it. So it'd go through a thinking process. Then it would go back a week later and say, are you sure you want to post this? And you'd put, absolutely not, right? But if it's like pictures of your kids, you're like, hey, we're at Disney World, that would just go through fine, you know? And I think they'd have AI that could find this thing, you know? They'd have AI programs, artificial intelligence, that could find it. And it would just go through a waiting period. Kind of like if you go to a bank and you have like this kind of risque check, they're like, well, we're gonna look it over for 5 days and then we're gonna let you have it. It's the exact same thing, all right? It's like a check and balance kind of thing on Facebook. So people don't go through divorces as much, so people don't get in trouble at church as much. So if they say something stupid, it'll be like, oh, you put your foot in the mouth. It can even say that, the foot in the mouth clause or something. And then it sends you a message and saying, this will not be posted in the next 5 days. If you want to change it, you'll have 5 days to, you know, that kind of thing. You know, but if you're just a novelist and you're writing, you know, stuff, as long as you're using different names and stuff like that, they would never really know. And it would be tough, but it could find it because you have friends that are on Facebook that have names, and names are everything. So when it connects with that person's name, they're gonna see it because it's gonna tag them, right? It does that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to say. So it lowers the chances of conflict within family and friends, and it keeps Facebook more friendly, right, and less dramatic. Because Facebook, let's just You know, there's good things about Facebook. We all have, you know, we use it for business and everything, but we all know that there's a foot in the mouth thing on Facebook. Well, whoops, I put my foot in the mouth. I've done it plenty of times on YouTube. I don't think that I'm doing it now, but what I'm saying is that should be changed, I think, for the protection of the public. It's kind of a privacy thing because your emotions get the best of you and kind of not only reveal privacy about you, it embarrasses you because you're mad at that moment. It's like an emotional block thing, you know, it blocks, like this person's emotional, they're trying to send something through, let's put it on anti-slander and send them a little message saying we're going to hold it for 5 days if you decide you want it to go through after 5 days. And you can always retract it because you can always edit on Facebook. All right. And happy Thanksgiving from the demon.
There are police reported ahead.
From the demon. Still there. I don't know why people do. No. I'll have to talk to Linda, but I do want to see this. So Annie Baker is one of my favorites. Circle mirror transformation. Remember whenever you're in acting class, circle up. This is about that circle mirror transformation. Now she also has one called Aliens, which is very good. There's an earlier one, I think, called Body Awareness. And then there's, of course, Flick, which she won a Pulitzer for. But this will be going, she's truly talented. You can buy tickets, let's see, view map, add a calendar. I'm gonna add it to calendar. I don't know, I guess the Google Calendar. Move this over this way. I don't really ever use it, that's why I'm kind of moving this. Okay, there's a car coming. All right, I'm sorry about that. All right, sorry, I'm advertising a playwright. Okay, goodness gracious. I turn this way. Okay. I don't know. I did it on Google. Let me see if it does it on iPhone. Let me see. Okay. Does it download? I'm gonna do it for Circle Mirror. I don't know how much. Do they say? Let me look. Hope I didn't just buy it. You have to select the date and time. I'm wondering if I could buy one ticket and then sneak Linda in. You like leave, go to the bathroom, give her the ticket, have her go in, and then me go to the bathroom and come back with the ticket. I don't tell Annie Baker that we're at 7-Eleven now. I want to see it. She's very real. Okay, so I'm just seeing for booking. Oh, 15, hey. If you're non-TCU, the general public, I don't know what non-TCU, it means if you're a student. Well, aren't we a student of life? Not senior 65 yet, but getting there. In about a little more than 10 years. I've got about 13 years until I qualify for that $10 one. That's not bad for a theater ticket, $15. That means 30 altogether, and Linda and I have not gone on a date or anything. I don't know if this is their theater. Okay, that's their cyclorama going in the back. We may go see this. This is at the Spencer Hayes Theater. I think I peeked in there before. 3 days. There is some phone numbers. The theater department is 817-257-4196. Fine Arts Events at TCU EDU if you want to fly in from town to go see it. When 4 lost New Englanders who enroll in Marty's 6-week-long community center drama class begin to experiment with harmless games, hearts and quietly torn apart, and tiny wars of epic proportions are waged and won. A beautiful crafted diorama, a petri dish in which we see with hilarious detail and clarity the antic sadness of a motley quintet. Someone wrote that one. Oh yeah, thanks so much. I think your thing's going off. Alrighty. 9:59 ETA, 7 minutes, 10:02, 222,
To
2.7.
kiss Dudley goodbye. But miss. Mrs. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister because her sister...
All right, got a pretty good one at Buffalo Brothers. 10:09 arrival, 1 minute, 0.2. Buffalo Brothers, 10:21.4, 1.3. It's like 20 cop cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something must have just happened. I don't know what it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe like 9 cop cars. Oh yeah, there's some over there too. They're all congregated in one little block at the end of that road right there, whatever that road was. Then there was one on the, ooh, we had a train out of nowhere. Man, this midnight train thing. Oh, I might could beat it, but I'd have to go all the way around. I'd lose some time doing this. Whenever that starts. This one will start probably pretty soon. And piggy poo. I don't know how fast they're gonna go. But that white truck just got through. There he goes, right there. Barely. Piggy poo. It's kind of slowed me down a little bit. But I couldn't really gun it because he was already coming back from something. Just in time. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they would have blocked ding, ding, ding all the way down. That's at 10:27. It's pretty late for a train to run. It's a freight train. They would have blocked that exit, this one coming down here, and I would have got red lights and literally right on time. I am very surprised that I got through that. Cool, because I've been trying to do cordial, what's it called? I'm trying to not give away information as much as possible. I've been trying to be cordial. Is that the right word? Trying to be timely. I'll just say it that way. All right, this will be the last one for tonight, so enjoy. Get your popcorn out. I don't know, probably that one. When you were a kid, you do like the, what's it called?